Good morning students, I welcome you all for the class. Today we are going to discuss one of the important concept in paging. Fine. In the last class we have seen regarding different memory allocation algorithms like first fit, best fit and worst fit. So like how we are going to allocate a process onto the memory based on which algorithm we have been allocated, we have seen in the last class. And today we are going to go with one of the important concept which is known as paging. So paging is one of the important concept in the memory management unit. Like what do you mean by a paging? In the sense like a page is nothing but here the secondary memory is divided into pages. Fine. The secondary memory is divided into pages and main memory is divided into frames. So what is the concept of paging? In the sense, whatever the pages we have divided, those pages we have to place into the main memory. Fine, is it not? So let me tell you, so here when we are going to talk regarding this memory management unit, so we'll be going to discuss with memory management. Fine. In this memory management, we are discussing the concept of paging. So here, when we are going to take the secondary memory, so this is the secondary memory and this is the main memory. So this we call it as a main memory, and here the CPU is there. Fine. So what I am telling you is here this secondary memory is divided into pages. Secondary memory is divided into pages. So each block we call it as a page, and the main memory is divided into equal size blocks called what we call it as frames. So each thing we call it as a frame. Fine. So if a CPU want to execute any sort of program or any sort of instruction, CPU will direct have a contact with the main memory but not with the secondary memory, right? So that we already know. So now what we have to do is, suppose here CPU has been fetched for uh, uh, here CPU has been fetched for some X instruction. CPU has been fetched for X instruction. CPU is being fetched for X instruction. For suppose this X instruction is not in the main memory. Now what we have to do? We have to dump that X instruction from the secondary memory to the main memory, right? So what I am telling you is here suppose if anything we'll be going to dumping from secondary memory to the main memory, that means pages we have to dump onto the frames. Here what is the important criteria you need to follow is here the size of a page, the size of a page should be equal to the size of the frame. That we have to be followed. Here page size is 2 KB, in the sense frame size should be also 2 KB only. Here it is 4, in the sense like here also it should be 4 only. Why? Because we are dumping the pages onto the frames, so that it will be very much helpful for us if the page size is equals to the frame size. So that is a mandatory condition. This condition has to be followed mandatory. So what I mean to say is that here the secondary memory is divided into pages and the main memory is going to be divided into frames. The pages we have to dump it onto the frames. Fine. So here when we are going to dump the pages onto the frames, what is the criteria we have to follow, or what is the condition that has to be satisfied? In the sense here the size of the page should be equals to the size of the frame, then only we can dump these pages onto the frames. Now let us go into the theory. Fine. So here what I am telling is A paging is a memory management scheme by which computer stores and retrieves data from secondary memory for use in main memory. Like what we are going to do, we are going to use the secondary memory data for using in the main memory. In this scheme, the operating system retrieves data from the secondary storage and a small sized blocks called pages. From the pages, we are going to dump the data onto the main memory so that the CPU can contact with the main memory and fetch the instruction from the main memory. Here physical memory is divided into fixed size blocks called frames. This you have to remember. Here physical memory is divided into fixed size blocks called frames. Here we can say this physical memory can also be called as main memory. The main memory is divided into fixed size blocks. The fixed size is very important. Fixed size blocks called frames. And logical memory. Logical memory is nothing but the secondary memory. Do remember that CPU generates always this logical address only, but not the absolute address. Fine. CPU generates a logical address. We have seen in the previous videos like how the logical address is going to be translated to physical address translation by making use of relocation register and everything. We have seen a block diagram. Fine. Do refer that one. So here the physical memory is divided into equal size or fixed size blocks called frames. Main memory is divided into frames and the secondary memory is going to be divided into pages. These are also fixed size. A frame has the same size as a page. This you have to remember. The page size is equals to the frame size. It is a frame is a place where a logical or a page can be placed. So frame in the sense where that page is going to be placed, that we call it as a frame, as I have shown you before. See the diagram over here. So here we will be going to have the logical address, process logical memory in the sense that is the secondary memory. Don't confuse in between physical address in the sense or physical memory in the sense it is a main memory. Fine. So CPU generates this logical address. CPU generates this logical address, but where that data has to be stored in the main memory. CPU can't directly point gives the main memory address. It will generate the logical address. What we have to do is we have to convert that logical address into physical address. So physical address in the sense main memory address. Why? Because CPU always points to the main memory. CPU points to the main memory, or CPU will fetch the data from the main memory. See here secondary memory in the sense secondary memory is divided into pages and the main memory is going to be divided into frames. Fine. Secondary memory is divided into pages and the main memory is going to be divided into frames. Each page is going to be placed onto the frame. So here this page is placed on this particular frame and this page has been placed onto this particular frame. So pages are going to be placed onto the frames. Fine. So here, so page translation in the sense like how we are going to translate from logical address to the physical address memory. We are giving a logical address, but that has to be converted to the physical address. How we are going to translate in the sense by making use of this MMU. MMU stands for Memory Management Unit. So MMU stands for Memory Management Unit. This Memory Management Unit is the one which is going to transfer or which is you going to convert this physical addresses onto the logical address onto the physical address. See here the logical memory we are having the logical addresses over here. What the logical addresses we are giving to the Memory Management Unit. What this Memory Management Unit is going to do is it will be going to convert this logical addresses. See here it is directly showing here it is this converting this logical addresses into what? Into physical addresses where the actual data has been residing. fine. So this is how we'll be going to have the page translation. So pages are going to be dumped onto the frames, but CPU generates the page number, but we don't know the frame number. So in order to translate that logical address into physical address, we need one unit which is called the memory management unit. What the purpose of this memory management unit is, it is going to convert the logical addresses to the physical addresses by making use of this memory management unit. Fine. So here each here this memory management unit, what this memory management unit will do is, it will be going to maintain a page table. This memory management unit is going to maintain the page table. What is a page table? In the sense, a page table is one which is going to have, so here a page table contains the, here so see here, page number and the page offset. Fine. So each address sorry, here the page table is there. So this page table is going to have what the page table is going to have, in the sense, so page table is going to have like you will be going to have here this is the page number, and here we'll be going to have the frame number. So here the page table, in the sense, here we'll be going to have 0 1, and here 5 4, F5 and F4. That means here 0 and 1 tells about the page numbers, and F5 and F4 tells about the frame numbers. So this page has been this frame has been loaded into which page, or this page has been loaded into which frame. So that we want to know. So this memory management unit is going to maintain a table called page table. The page table looks like this. Page table contains the page number and the frame number. So which page has been loaded onto which frame will be going to show in this page table. Fine. So here what I have said you is, the CPU generates the logical address. Fine. So CPU, I have said you that CPU is going to generate the logical address. So CPU is going to generate logical address. This logical address is divided into two parts. The first part is page number and the second part is offset. So page number, in the sense, which page? Is it 0 page, first page, or second page? Offset, in the sense, to which limit? Or else we can say it as an exactly suppose if CPU generates second page 5 offset, in the sense it needs second page like fifth line, or else fifth instruction it is going to be needed. To which instruction? Or else we can, another words we can say it as a displacement also. Offset is nothing but to which extent we need to refer to the page, that we will call it as an offset also. Fine. So here page number is used as an index to the page table, which contains the base address of each page. So base address is nothing but the starting address, and D is nothing, we also call D as a displacement. D as a displacement. Displacement offset means combined with the base address to define the physical memory address. So that we call it as a displacement. Suppose fifth instruction, suppose here so this is my main memory. Here the main memory is divided into frames. So it starting address is 100. So here suppose page 1 is there. So here CPU generates which page number? It is generating second page number. So second page number starts from 200. Suppose second page P2 it needs. What is the displacement here? Displacement means I have given you 5. Suppose for example displacement is 50. So till 200 plus 50. What is the total range over here? 250. Till 250 it can access, more than 250 it can't access. So that is the displacement, to which extent it has to access it, to which extent it has given the rights. So that we call it as a displacement. So whatever the address generated by the CPU is going to generate the logical address. This logical address is divided into two, the page number and the offset. Page number means which page that it wants to search, displacement in the, or offset or displacement in the sense to which extent it has to search. So see here, so this is the actual paging diagram, like how we are going to have the concept of the paging, like you will be going to see here. Here, as I have said you, that physical memory is there, like physical memory is divided into, like physical memory is divided into pages. Fine. So what we have to do is, like physical memory, or what we can say it as a main memory, physical memory or main memory. So physical memory is divided into frames. So this each one we call it as a frame. Fine. CPU generates which address? Logical address. So logical address has to be converted into physical address. How it is going to be converted? Here it is going to show. Suppose so all these are different pages. All these are different frames. So here what we'll be going to do is page number P3, P6, displacement suppose 5. So CPU generated a logical address. That logical address is divided into two. The first one is the page number and second one is the displacement. Fine. So page number is P6 and displacement is 5. So this P6 we will be going to check against the page table. Suppose here P0, P1, P2, P3, P4, P5, and here some P6 falls on. So this P6 will be going to check in this page table. So here P6 will be going to have, suppose here P6 in the sense, suppose here these are all frame numbers, right? Here these are all frame numbers, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. These are all pages. Suppose P6 is over here. P6 is over here. P6, page 6 present in which frame? Fourth frame. So you will be going to have the data. P6 will be present in the fourth frame, right? So here we will be going to take that frame number, that is fourth frame. Displacement is, what are the displacement directly we will be going to, no need to convert displacement. Here the displacement is 5, so directly the displacement will come here. That means fourth page, fifth line. Fine. Fourth frame, fifth line. So fourth frame till 5 lines it can access. So this is how we will be going to convert the logical address into physical address. Fine. So this physical memory is divided into frames. Each, like here we are going to keep the pages P1, P2, P6, P4, P5. So you have to remember that all the frame size are of fixed. Here the fixed frame size, fixed in the sense which fragmentation you will get? You will get internal fragmentation. Suppose if I said that this each frame can occupy only 10 instruction. Suppose a process P7 came which require only one instruction. So only one instruction is filled, 9 spaces are left, which we call it as an internal fragmentation. But here we can say that there is no external fragmentation. Fine. So here internal fragmentation will be there, but there will be no leftover spaces. Why? Because wherever the place we are finding, we are going to dump all the pages onto the particular frame. So external fragmentation won't be there, but you will be going to find the internal fragmentation over here. So when we use a paging scheme, we have no external fragmentation, as I have said you before. So there is no external fragmentation. Why? Because any free frame can be allocated to any of the process. Suppose if you are going to have this thing in the sense, suppose if this frame is free in the sense, we can allocate to this. If this frame is free in the sense, we can allocate to this. So there is no external fragmentation over here, as we are having the internal fragmentation. Internal fragmentation in the sense, suppose if the frame size is 10, if suppose a process P5 came which needs only one instruction, here only one instruction is going to be filled, remaining 9 instructions are going to be unused. So this we call it as an internal fragmentation. So in paging, we don't find any external fragmentation, rather we'll be going to have the internal fragmentation. However, we may have the internal fragmentation. Why this internal fragmentation? In the sense, because of fixed frame size. Because of fixed frame size, we are going to have the internal fragmentation. If the process requires n pages, at least n frames are required. Fine. The first page of the process is loaded into the first frame listed on the free frame list. Like you will be going to have the filled frames and the free frames also. So whatever the free frames are there, we are going to place the newly arrived process onto that free frames. So by this example you can see over here. So this is a paging example. So this is the logical memory. So I'm having page 0, page 1, page 2 and page 3. So this page 0 is placed in which frame? First frame. These are all the frame numbers. These 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 are the frame numbers. So here page 0 where I kept in frame 1. Fine. And page 1 where I kept page 1 in frame 4. And page 2 where I kept page 2 I kept in frame 3. And page 3 I kept in frame 7. Fine. So as I have said you that a page table is one which is going to have the page number and frame number in order to have easy identification. So page 0 has been placed in frame 1. See here, page 0 has been placed in frame 1 and page 4 has been placed in page 1. So page 1 has been placed in frame 4. So page 1, so this is the page 1 has been placed in frame 4. In the same manner, page 2 placed in frame 3. See here, page 2 placed in frame 3 and finally the page 3 placed in frame 7. Here the page 3 placed in frame 7. So this is the information that is going to be maintained by the memory management unit. The memory management unit, what it is going to do is, it is in order to make the task easier, it is going to maintain one table called page table. So that page table contains the page number as well as the frame number, which page has been placed onto the which frame. So pages means the secondary memory is divided into pages. Frames means main memory is divided into frames. Which page we have placed onto the which frame, that information that this memory management unit is going to be placed. Fine. So here you can find the free frame list. Initially 14, 13, 18, 20 and 15. This is free. These are free. Fine. So you may getting a doubt that why they are not in order. Why? Because at first 14th frame is free. At that time 13th frame is busy. Later sometime this 13th frame gets busy. So that's the reason they are not in any particular ascending or descending order. Which frame is free first, that frame is going to be listed over here. Fine. So initially the 14, 13, 18, 20 and 15 frames are free. So here we will be going to have the page table. So this is the page table. So this 0, 1, 2, 3 are the page numbers and 14, 13 these are the frame numbers. So how we are going to allocate, how we have to place? Page 0 has to be placed on 14th frame. So page 0 has to be placed on 14th frame, and page 1 has to be placed on 13th frame. So page 1 has to be placed on 13th frame, and the same manner page 2 on 18, page 3 on 20. So page 2 on 18th frame and page 3 on 20th frame. So this is how. So if you are having the list of free frames, so if you are having the list of free frames, we can allocate pages onto the frames. Fine. So this is how the free frame list are going to be allocated by the pages. See here, here only the 15th page is left now. So what is the free frame list is updated? A free frame list is updated only with the 15. Previously, how many are there? 5 free frames are there. Now how many we have filled? Here we have filled 4 frames, and how many left? We have left with 1 frame. So this 1 plus this 4, totally 5 free frames has to be there over here. So 5 free frames are there, so 4 have been filled and 1 is the leftover, totally 5 free frames. This is how the paging concept is going to be done. Fine. So implementing page table. So how we are going to implementing page table? So as I have said you that, so here the CPU is going to generate the logical address. So this logical address is divided into two. The first one is the page number, second one is the page offset. So by taking this page number, what will be going to contact with the memory management unit. What this memory management unit will be going to do is, this memory management unit is going to contact with the TLB. TLB is nothing but translation look aside buffer. Translation look aside buffer. First it will check in this translation look aside buffer for a particular page. Then if the page is not there, then it will be going to check in the page number for a particular frame number. So that is how we will be going to have done. Suppose if this page number is 6, so it will be going to check in the TLB, it will be going to take the particular frame number. So 6 is going to be converted into some X frame number. So this X frame number, suppose this displacement, so here this displacement, by adding these two we will be going to identify the particular page onto the physical memory. So this is how we will be going to have. So what is the translation look aside buffer? So if the page number is not in the translation look aside buffer, a memory reference to the page table has been done. As I have said you, first it will check in the translation look aside buffer. If the particular page is not available in the translation look aside buffer, then this memory management unit will check in the page table for a particular frame number. If that page is there in the translation look aside buffer, then there is no need to go with this page table. No reference to be done to the page table. If there is no page in the translation look aside buffer, then only this memory management unit will make a reference to the page table. Fine. So here in addition we add the page number and the frame number into the translation look aside buffer. So as I have said you, we will be going to have the page number as well as the frame number. So if all these things are present in the translation look aside buffer, they need to know, no need to refer to the page table. Fine. If this particular page is not there in the translation look aside buffer, then only we have to go to the page table. So if the TLB is full, suppose this translation look aside buffer is full, so what we have to do is, then operating this the whole buffer is full, the TLB is full. What is the thing we have to do is, suppose we need to get one reference to this, but here it is full, then it is the task of the operating system to remove the items from the TLB and insert the items from the page table. How the removal is going to be done in the sense, by any one of the first come first or shortest job, any of the algorithm will be going to take, and you will be going to remove a particular item from the TLB, and will be going to give space from the new item. Suppose, so the percentage of times a particular page number is found in the TLB is known as hit ratio. Hit ratio in the sense, cache hit, cache miss, you know na, like suppose if CPU wants any instruction, first it will be checking in this TLB. If that instruction is present in the TLB, how many times the instructions are present, that we call it as a hit ratio. If the instruction is not there, then we'll be going to check in the page table. This we call it as a miss. So hit ratio should be high. If hit ratio is high, then the efficiency is going to be more. So what is the advantage of this paging? So there is no external fragmentation. Why? Because we'll be going to suppose, as I have said you, if any space is left over, if this is the leftover space and this is the leftover space, so this is free, this is free, and this is free. If suppose if a process is having 3 tasks, all the 3 tasks are going to be filled in the available places, so there is no external fragmentation. So simply memory management, simple, it is based on the simple management algorithms, and swapping is easy. Why? Because here the page size is equals to the frame size, no need to worry, we can keep any of the page onto any of the frame. Why? Because all are equal and fixed size. So that's the reason why we have mentioned that the page size should be equals to the frame size. So then there is no no difficulty in keeping pages onto the frames. If this page size is different and frame size is different in the sense, then it will be tough to which page has to be fixed onto the which frame, then we have to look after. Now there is no need to check that one, as because the page size is equals to the frame size, we can keep any of the page onto the any of the frame. So that is the advantage over here. Share common code, especially in a time sharing environment. We can share the code in this time sharing environment. So coming to the drawbacks or disadvantages, the first one is internal fragmentation. Why internal fragmentation? In the sense, we are having fixed frame length, fixed frame and page length. So that's why internally some spaces will be left over, so that we call it as an internal fragmentation. Page tables may consume more memory. And let me tell you one point, suppose if we are having n processes, so each process is going to have its separate page table. Each process is going to have the separate page table. What is the advantage of page table? In the sense, which page we kept on which frame, that information we'll be going to place in the page table. So process P1, at the end of process P1 we are going to attach the page table of P1. For process P2 we are going to attach the page table of process P2. So you have to make a note that for each and every process, at the end of each and every process, we are going to insert the page table. Why page table? In the sense, page table will gives the information regarding which page has been placed onto which frame, so that we can convert the CPU generated address, logical address, into physical address very much easily. So page tables may consume more memory. Why? Because if n number of processes are there, in the sense, we have to maintain n number of page tables, even though that is the duplication of data. Why? Because already the data is available in the main memory. Again, for our convenience, what we are going to do is we are maintaining a page tables, so that for each and every process we are going to attach that page table at the end of each process, so that it will makes us convenient which page has been placed onto which frame. So multi-level paging leads to memory reference overhead. If many pages are there, in the sense, then we are going to waste the memory like anything. So this is how the concept of paging is going to be done. So here paging, why we are going to do the paging, in the sense here the secondary memory is going to be divided into equal sized blocks known as pages, fine, and the main memory is going to be divided into equal sized blocks known as frames. Here we have to make a note that page size is equals to the frame size, so that it will be very much easy. When coming to the paging, we have no external fragmentation. Why? Because whenever the space or wherever the space is left over, we are going to dump the pages onto the particular frame, so that there will be no external fragmentation. But the major drawback in this paging is internal fragmentation. Internal fragmentation in the sense, obviously, why? Because we have fixed the length of page size as well as the frame size, so then there is a internal fragmentation over here. So in order to overcome this internal fragmentation, what the concept we are going to use is, we use the concept of segmentation. So segmentation is another different concept which we view from the user point of view, but not from the computer point of view. So we'll be going to discuss the concept of segmentation in the next class, right? So that is also one of the important concept, like you will be going to see what are the advantages and disadvantages of segmentation, and what are the differences between the paging and segmentation also we'll be going to see in our next class. And that's all for today's class. Thank you, students. Have a nice day.